Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of CleoCast. My name is Matt,
And I am RC.
and we have some things planned for you today, mainly train and baseball related, which seems to be an underlying conversation point for this podcast. But at my job, they are making it so you can no longer save your password in your browsers, and you have to remember it or use a password manager that IT hasn't rolled out yet.
Well, that's smart. So every single website, you have to just memorize all the passwords for that.
Yes.
Like, conceptually, I get it because, it's like a point of entry or whatever, but people are just going to write it down. Like, people
Yeah.
are just going to use sticky notes or use the same password for everything, which is less secure.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but, like, that's just stupid.
Well, recently for a system we use crucially for basically everything internally, they made it so you had to send a code to your email or your phone, but they don't use Duo, which is what they use for a bunch of other stuff. I don't understand why they didn't connect this system to just sending a Duo push notification for everything else. Why do I need to get a separate email code sent to me?
Well, Duo, and I think Microsoft has its own like authentication program that my company uses. So that's also like a phone app. So you don't even have to go with like third-party services. You can just go with Microsoft, which I presume your company uses with Word and Excel and Outlook already.
I am incredibly confused, and I feel so bad for our IT department because I'm sure this isn't their decision. This might be the decision of upper management, and it's not gonna go well. And they're sending out constant emails daily being like, on this day, you're no longer able to save your passwords. Please change your passwords now and remember them, or put them into our password like thing we're gonna release in the next coming weeks. It's going to happen this day. You have over a month's notice. Please, please, please make note of it. And I am just waiting for the day where the month passes, they finally do it, and then there's just like absolute hell on earth.
In one ear, out the other, baby. My company is starting a transition over to Windows 11, which I personally am not happy about because I don't really like Windows 11, but that's beside the point because I think it's not beside the point. We're doing a podcast where we talk about things. It just dumbs down everything too much. The fact that when you right click, there's another menu to get to the actual right click options. It's so freaking annoying, and you can't disable it. Like, you don't have any of the access that you usually do in like Windows programs, which I mean it's all but downhill since 7. Like 8 was so bad they had to take a step back for 10, but like 11, it's just like, oh my god, how did you guys not learn this lesson in 8? Like, I get the simplification stuff, but not being able to opt out of the simplification just kills me on the inside. More to the point, they're updating to Windows 11, but they're not doing it like, here, you guys are going to be updating today, and you guys are going to be updating tomorrow, or, hey, everybody's going to update on this day. They're just kind of doing it like firing a shotgun into the air, and whoever gets hit, gets hit. So, like, I don't know. I haven't updated yet. At some point in the future, my computer's going to update to Windows 11. I don't know when.
It might happen while you're doing something incredibly crucial.
Yeah. And it's just like, I can't imagine how this is a good idea, because you're basically, without warning, giving people IT issues who have never used Windows 11 before. Because it does, like I said, dumb down things. So things are going to change. The places people store things are going to be different. Like the whole desktop browser system, the whole like taskbar at the bottom, that whole like interface will be different. So IT has to deal with people not knowing how to use it. Because, I mean, most people who work corporate jobs basically just memorize the way they do one thing and then don't really ever think outside of that, because most of them don't actually care about technology that much. They just care about getting their work done, and they know exactly how to get their work done, and that's about it. Once you change that workflow, that's where you get into the real issues.
I will say, once the tannish gray of cubicles and fluorescent lights hit my eyeballs, I just like lose all my brain cells and just kind of sit there.
Yeah. No, I almost wish I know people bemoan cubicles as like the death of society and the death of individuality. I almost wish they would make like the full cubicles would make a comeback, because I kind of wish I could work in an environment where I didn't feel like I was being like looked over my shoulder at all time, because we got some of those like half cubicle, like, you know, it's your unit, you know, you got like these little walls but everyone can see each other, so you feel open and free. And it's like I don't really want to, like, every time I'm just kind of like glancing around, you know, to get my eyes away from my computer, to like accidentally make eye contact with half of my like coworkers. I kind of want to have just like a wall so I can just, I'm in my work zone, because like I get it, but like it's just like we've gone too far in the tech bro open workspace concept, where it's just like it's very loud in the office. It's very annoying when I can hear my bosses and coworkers having loud conversations, and there's like nothing in between me and them.
Hate the loud conversations when they're just like, they know that you might have a job that requires like to make phone calls, and they're just like basically screaming. I'm not sure they understand inside voices or not.
Well, I just, you know, I go to work to get my job done. That's all I do. I work to get my job done. Maybe I should be more social. I don't know. But I do just love the, you know, social butterfly employees who I guess are just kind of like, if I'm on my phone for 5 minutes, right, I would get in trouble. But if they go have a 15 to 20 minute conversation about like the color of the sky that day, that's okay. That's cool. Like I don't want them to get in trouble, but like I just don't see why it's like you're allowed to go talk loudly to your friend at work when I would get in trouble for texting my friend, you know? It's like kind of weird that if you like talking to other people, you're allowed to get away with it, you know?
It's the same thing with, like, you know, back when smoke breaks, if you ever worked one of those jobs where they gave you smoke breaks, but you didn't get breaks. Other than that,
I have worked in the restaurant industry, where you're, you know, how incentives work. You better theater too. Actually, I've worked in the theater industry too, and you either better get into caffeine, nicotine, or cocaine, or weed. I guess weed's one of them too now.
Gotta wash your keys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
that was quite the opening tangent. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I just, that's been bugging me for like a few days now.
This is like the dudes will literally start a podcast instead of going to therapy, right?
Yeah, except I have a therapist.
Yeah. Dudes will literally vent into the void at their viewers instead of just talking to a professional.
Yeah. But
I'm talking about me.
Man, go. It's worth it.
Yeah.
But a part of my baseball conversation that I was thinking about doing, we are currently in the postseason.
No, we're not. The Royals?
No, baseball. The Royals were mathematically eliminated back in like August.
Yeah,
that
so
was
the Yankees.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts on the stadiums of the two World Series teams?
I thought that we were just still in just the championship series.
Yeah, the championship series.
Isn't it Phillies, Diamondbacks, Astros, Rangers?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. I know about the Astros stadium because we beat them there in 2014 and 2015. I don't know about the Diamondbacks and Rangers, and I probably have seen the Phillies stadium before, but I do not know. Does that answer your question?
That was what I wanted to talk about. Anyway, I don't like the Astros. I don't want the Phillies to win just because Philadelphia sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of a spite thing, not entirely only caused by certain podcasts from Philadelphia that we both like, but they're kind of annoying when it comes to sports. But yeah, Philadelphia, I just root against them and everything.
But a former U.S. president owned the Texas Rangers, and that's just weird.
It is kind of weird, but you kind of got to root for them, right? Because just purely, not from the presidential angle, but just from them and the Diamondbacks haven't won anything, right? I feel like a kindred spirit.
The Diamondbacks won the World Series in 2001, and they beat the Yankees after 9/11. When I feel like you should have just choked it and let the Yankees...
No, you can't have the Patriots and the Yankees do it, man. You can't have both.
Oh, man.
Don't you know that Boston feels 9/11 just as strongly as New York because the planes left from there? That's what their airport tells you.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
They got affected just as much because that's where the planes originated from.
Where is it? Is it? Are you fucking with me?
I heard that. I don't remember whether it was in one of the books about 9/11 I read or if it's something someone said recently, but I swear to God, I saw somebody say that like unironically recently. I wish I remembered where I saw it, but I saw it. I'm cursed with just having the anecdotal knowledge, but not remembering where I picked it up from.
Man, it's oh god. Do you see the guy jump into the World Trade Center Memorial though?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, there's a video of him crawling and then falling into the pit where all the water goes.
I saw, they've just got doors down there, right? Because I did watch a video of the guy who cleans it every night. He gets all the leaves and shit out of it. He's talking about like how solemn it feels, but they just have a janitor who walks in there with like waders on and like just with a net and just scoops up all the like shit people throw into it and all the leaves and stuff. So they probably just went through the door and like grabbed them out. It's not exactly like the abyss,
Did they just dug a hole down to the center of the earth from the 9/11 memorial?
Well, they didn't have to. They already dug it back in like the 70s. They just had to clear all the stuff out of it and after 2001. But I mean that's the foundation for the buildings, right?
Okay. The MLB postseason has the worst combination of teams possible, though.
Yeah.
Because there's two Texas teams,
playing each other.
One of which is a Dallas-based team, well, an Arlington-based team, but in the Dallas metro area, because Dallas has consumed that entire area. One that is in Houston that also cheated a few years ago to win a World Series. Basically a team in a major like growing American city, I think is like number 5 or number 6 in population, that just shouldn't exist because it's a affront against God.
The Diamondbacks?
Yeah, the Diamondbacks.
They're from Phoenix?
The entire Phoenix area is just an affront to God.
Yeah.
And there's the Phillies, and everyone from Philadelphia is annoying.
My Philadelphia thing is just, it's like, I don't think it's cute or charming when you're like, yeah, we know we're assholes and we know we're assholes, because it's just like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, you're an asshole. You're an asshole. Yeah, okay, so you're an asshole. It's just like, that's our shtick, is being an asshole. It's like, okay, you know what that makes you as an asshole? Like, nobody likes you. Yeah, maybe you should think about that, why nobody likes you, Like, maybe you should do some self-reflection instead of just, like, taking that on the mantle. Like, maybe your city would be doing better. Maybe your sports teams would win more if you, like, maybe didn't throw batteries at the opposing team's fans. Maybe if you didn't, like, assault Travis Kelce when he goes to support his brother. Like,
or when they beat the Braves, I saw the Philly fans doing the tomahawk chop.
Okay, that one is funny.
At them,
I will. That kind of stuff is funny. Like, that kind of stuff is just good sportsmanship. I like doing that kind of stuff because it's fun. But the problem is, a lot of the Philadelphia sports teams and specifically the sports fans have taken on that whole, yeah, we're the bad. We're just going to be mean and rude and nasty. But that's just what they've been growing up in. So they're not the fun, mean, rude, and nasty. Like, how the Patriots fans for a while were the fun kind of arrogant assholes. Because it's like, yeah, we know we're playing a character. That, like, we're the Philadelphia, we're the evil empire or whatever. Or the Boston evil empire or whatever. But the Philadelphia fans, it seems like it's just gone to their heads where they just think, like, the antisocial, we're going to, like, beat the shit out of you, like, physically.
Having to grease poles is funny.
Yeah. Like, again, the celebratory stuff, that's funny. I'm specifically talking about like the conduct towards opposing fans. I don't think is cool.
Are you talking about the walking the gauntlet video?
Yeah, I genuinely think the trash talk, that's fun. Mm-hmm. I think the greasing the poles, that's funny, like celebratory stuff. But it's just when it's not just we're gonna like shit talk you, but when it's like we're gonna get into fights with you if you try to root for an opposing team in our stadium. I just don't think that's
for cool. Context, you're gonna need to go to YouTube and basically look up like walking in as an opposing fan into like the Philadelphia Eagles stadium or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's a video that someone posted which is like a few minutes long of them in like an opposing team's jersey walking, and they just kind of, the sea of green just forms around them and just harasses them the entire time they're going in.
And it's like, maybe it's just like my Midwestern sensibilities where I was just sitting. I went to a Royals game like a few months ago, and I was sitting next to. We were playing not the Seahawks, the Mariners. We were playing the Mariners, and I was just chatting with the guy. You know, it's like obviously I'm rooting for another team, but I was just, like, hey, that guy. Wow, that guy's really good. What about him? Just like small talk because we're both fans. I was cheering when we scored. He was cheering when they scored. But just the Philadelphia. We're the assholes. We're, the bad boys, whatever. We're the real physical, mean team. We got the tush push. But also, we're going to take that, and if you try to come to our stadium and root for the other fans, we're going to, like, throw beer at you. We're going to, like, throw shit at you. We're going to push you around, all that shit. That's just, I don't think that's ever been cool, and I don't like that that's kind of how they're embracing their character is we have to just be assholes to people who have paid and taken the time off to just try and watch their team play in our stadium. Because, the Chiefs and the Royals are able to have a very good home atmosphere without doing any of that shit.
All right, hard pivot. What happened to the Erie Canal?
Did anything happen to it?
Is it gone?
I don't know. I think railroads were invented, weren't they?
But does it still exist?
I'm pretty sure it still exists. I'm pretty sure it's how you get to the Great Lakes from, like,
the Hudson River.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because like Chicago has a lot of like international like shipping marine traffic because of the Great Lakes. Like you can get to the Great Lakes from the Atlantic.
Yeah, but you go through like Canada and shit. You don't like use the Erie Canal.
What do you mean you go through Canada?
Yeah, you get the St. Lawrence River. You hit Lake Ontario.
No, you don't want to pay the import taxes from going through a different country. So you just send it all through the U.S. Same reason we use the Mississippi. I'm like 90% sure the Erie Canal is still around. Like, why would they have gotten rid of it? It's like an important piece of national waterway infrastructure.
But like,
we have one of the most robust waterway navigation systems in the United States.
Okay,
in the world, not in the United States. Of course, the United States has.
I did in like a little wormhole did look up how to become like one of those like river pilot captains, and let me tell you, they require actual training. You can't just apply and be like, yeah, sure, dude from like the Kansas City area, please just drive our boat down the Mississippi. You need to actually be like trained and stuff.
Yeah, they restored it in the 90s. I mean, obviously, like railroads kind of stopped it. I guess containerization or something.
No, the St. Lawrence Seaway in 1959. So they do go through Canada.
Oh, damn, they do go through. Oh, I guess I forgot about NAFTA when I was talking about import taxes and shit.
Yeah.
I guess I forgot about that. Damn, we really let them just Panama Canal us, huh? The Canadians, I mean. Okay, how is the St. Lawrence Channel that much faster than just shipping it through? Well, I guess
you have to go through locks and stuff.
Locks, yeah.
I mean, you just go down the river and then go through a few locks and just power through the Great Lakes.
Damn, we really let them Panama Canal us.
To be completely honest, I have never seen a Great Lake like in person on my feet. I've seen it from a plane.
I've been telling you, dude, you got to go to Chicago. You got to make the pilgrimage, the Midwestern pilgrimage.
I've been to Chicago land. I've never been to
Okay, what do you mean by Chicago land?
I've been to the like exterior suburbs, and I've been to their airport.
Like Joliet or something? Okay, if you've been to the airport, O'Hare or...
I've been to Midway and O'Hare.
Okay, you can see the Great Lake. Oh, you're saying from land. You can see it from there, though. I mean, like
from the airport, in the airport? Yeah, I've seen it from a plane.
Yeah.
But I've never standed on the shore of Lake Michigan and looked at it. And that's what I'm saying, is I've never seen it. My feet are on the ground and not in an airplane.
It's the ocean, dude. Chicago's a coastal city. It's the fucking ocean. I mean, it's like the largest. It's like 25% or 16 or something like that percent of the world's freshwater reserves, right there. Like, this is what the water wars are going to be fought over in 30 years. Is these guys? Is
this going to be the Neo-Mediterranean when the society collapses and we have a second Bronze Age around the Great Lakes?
Yeah, we're gonna have to annex Ontario, just like full stop. That's just gonna happen in the next 5 years.
What?
Yeah.
We
have to secure the supply of fresh water. Dude.
We're just going to declare war on Canada to take their largest, most populous province.
Yeah. Oh, it's gotta happen.
Okay, are those lakes in Manitoba freshwater as well?
I mean, they're lakes in Manitoba. Yeah, that's
It's not Manitoba. You're way too far. You're in Nunavut and Northwest Territories.
what
Go
Nunavut.
down.
Yeah, no, Manitoba. I'm just saying, all in Canada. What the hell? What is wrong with Google Maps here? Yeah, no, all these are same with Minnesota. Minnesota's got a bunch of those little lakes, but yeah, they're all freshwater.
Nice.
That is what a lake is. I mean, like
Sometimes there's saltwater lakes.
the Great Saltwater Lake, the Great Salt Lake.
Yeah.
That's not, but that's like famous for not being a freshwater lake.
Yeah.
Like it's known for it.
And it's surrounded by Mormons.
Yeah.
And the University of Utah, who all their fans want to move the Big 12 tournament, pivot back to sports.
Yes, they want to move it to Vegas for some reason. I don't think that's the Mormons though, because why would they want to go to Vegas?
I don't know. I'm just like
I've been to Vegas, and I do not think a Mormon could survive walking on the streets of Vegas just because of the things you see. Like I'm just imagining like a nice Mormon, like Mitt Romney's family walking and seeing the ladies wearing very little clothes, advertising the strip clubs and wanting you to take a picture with them for like $15. They're all over the place, dude.
I've not been to Vegas either.
It's a wild place. It's crazy. You can just be day drunk with a beer in your hand, walking like on the middle of the busiest fucking road I've ever seen, where people are just driving 90 miles an hour in Lambos. It's great.
I get emails all the time from I stayed in Hilton property once, and they emailed me being like, Hilton Grand Vacations. All you have to do is listen to a 2-hour timeshare pitch, and and then you can get a long weekend in Las Vegas for $200 all inclusive. And I'm just like, is it really worth the 90-minute or 2-hour pitch for a Hilton property?
No, it's never worth it. It's never worth it. I mean, it's like a scam to start on a good day, but no, it's crazy. If you've ever been to a desert, the desert heat, it does hit different. Like it is just. Have you ever been to like a desert?
Yeah, I've been to a desert.
What desert?
I've been to the deserts in Mexico.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Not the same.
I've been to California.
Maybe the same. I'm just talking like.
I've been to Southern California.
I'm talking like New Mexico is like the desert. Like that's like shrubbery. There's still greenwood. You know, you're walking through trees. There's fresh water. I'm talking like Las Vegas. You just step out of the plane and your eyes dry out immediately. Like it's incredible. Especially compared to like our climate here.
Yeah.
In KC, where we're very much not that yet.
Oh, don't worry. I've seen the climate change stuff. We're going to first turn into basically like a very, very monsoon-esque like swamp jungle and then become a desert.
I think that we should just make the Great Lakes larger. I think we should just turn Chicago, turn it fully into an island, just flood everything that isn't the downtown loop. So just downtown loop, you make that into like the
Okay, wait. Why do they all spiral around Chicago? Why?
It's the downtown loop. That's why they call it the loop, is because the elevated rail around here, there's a big elevated rail, so you can it's the central point, right? So the whole idea is if you're coming from like the red line, you can ride, or I guess it's not a good example, the orange line, but you need to go to the blue line. You can take the orange line over here and then get on the blue line over there. And it's all in one central point that arches out. So wherever you need to go, you can just go to the downtown loop versus like a New York style system where there's 4 different ways to get where you're trying to go, and it's more confusing. With Chicago, there's, all roads lead to Rome. Wherever you need to go, just go to the downtown loop, go out. Easy to go. Whereas from like here, in New York, Greenwich Village, if I want to go over here, it's like, well, I could go up here and down, or I could go down and over, or I could take the other line and go over and over. And
or you just simply walk to the next station, which will give you access to the line you need because Manhattan is relatively small.
Yeah, and you can walk to the next station in Chicago, or they designed their system in like 100 years ago, and it's an elevated rail. But you could also just ride it over and around to the next station. The station is the same station, so you just get out, wait for the next blue line train, and then get on. Like you don't even have to transfer stations because the same trains arrive at the same station.
Huh.
It's very unique in the country, but it's also like older than the subway. This L rail is, so it's the New York subway. I mean, I think it was New York had an L rail, and then they put it underground. Chicago just didn't do that for most of their system. So it's just different. It's the same way New York used to do it, but then they didn't do that because
I don't know. My interpretation of Chicago is basically like a constantly drunk John Belushi yelling about the Bears.
it's pretty accurate. I mean, it's pretty fun. You really need to get there, dude. It's great. Same way that I mean, it's an island. You got to remember, it's a big island
It's a big island. How is it an island?
because the Chicago River cuts it, and it's an island.
Well, where does it cut down? It looks like a peninsula.
No, it's down here. See?
Okay, but those are rivers. It doesn't make it an island if it's just bisected by rivers.
New York's not an island then. New York's bisected by rivers. What do you?
But
You realize that, right? Like it's an island the exact same way New York is. This is not an island. It's bisected by a river up north, Chicago or New York. That's the only thing that makes it an island is because there's a river right here. Other than that, it's connected to the mainland.
Okay, I'm just saying that it's. I've never heard Chicago referred to as a river, and I think it's kind of ridiculous to refer to Chicago as an island.
It is the same way New York is. It is.
Does anyone else claim that, or is that just you?
Well, it's not relevant. The same way that New Yorkers claim they're on an island. It's like, well, technically, yeah, but not really. Like Long Island is an actual island, but like Manhattan is. Like it's just.
But Manhattan's obviously an island.
It's not though.
It's obviously an island.
It's bisected by a river.
But it's
You
more.
just said the bisection by a river doesn't make you an island.
But it looks way more like an island than what the Chicago claim you have. Also, like what. That's ridiculous. They claim Chicago is an island.
No, it is. It's not connected to the mainland.
But
there's water right here that's bisecting it.
But it goes so
south,
far down,
and then it connects back over here.
That is a humongous island.
Yeah, it's huge.
Does Wikipedia say Illinois has islands? Does Illinois have an island?
Yeah. I mean, I can look it up. I mean, Illinois does have islands.
It does have islands?
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, I don't know where you're...
I just want our, like, true speaker of truth,
Illinois.
Wikipedia.
I mean, I don't know where you're going to think it says, like, yeah, does Illinois have islands? Yes. I mean, it's just going to be a Wikipedia page. The Illinois and Michigan Canal. Blues culture, the Cahokia Mounds.
I have been to the Cahokia Mounds are cool.
Yeah, mound builders. There's a lot of them in St. Louis too, right?
Well, the Cahokia Mounds are like basically the big thing in the St. Louis area. It is in Illinois, but
oh, that's like race. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean that was like the largest like city in like pre-industrial, pre-Columbian North America, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much. They were doing a lot of stuff out there.
Well, in like the contiguous United States, because technically, like the Mexico City area is also in North America.
Yeah, they were building them. Yeah, right here, Goose Island. That's an island, and it's bisected by.
Wait,
rivers.
is that the Goose Island from the brewery Goose Island?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's bisected by rivers.
I didn't know Goose Island was a natural island.
Yeah,
I know nothing about Chicago.
See this area up here too. That's also an island. It's also bisected by this river. It's not actually connected to the mainland, and then it's connected to Lake Michigan, second largest freshwater lake in the world. It's islands, dude. The same thing that New Yorkers use, like Staten Island, Long Island. Those are actual islands. Manhattan is connected to the mainland, unless you want to argue that bisecting a river does not make you connected to the mainland, in which case Chicago is also an island. It's bodying a large body of water. It's not even like a Kansas City's an island. It's next to a gigantic body of water, the same way New York is, and it's disconnected from the mainland by a river.
This claim's just ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. It's the exact same criteria we have for Manhattan.
But like, it doesn't. Like, I'm struggling to comprehend this absolutely just, to be honest, asinine claim that Chicago is an island.
Cleveland is not. I mean, it's not bisected by a river. River goes down the middle. Detroit is. I mean, it's just it's bisected by a river, and it's next to a large body of water. It's an island. It's not connected to the mainland. I don't know what more you want. It's the same criteria we have in Manhattan.
Oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ.
What? That's the New Yorker in you. You just can't accept that other cities are also exist.
I have never heard someone claim Chicago's an island before.
You're hearing it right now, dude.
Yeah, and I'm struggling to wrap my head around. It seems ridiculous. It's stupid. It shouldn't be the case, and it's like I'm going to continue to advocate that it's not the case, not because of any.
Then Manhattan is not an
island. No. Chicago's not an island because I said it's not an island. Go fuck yourself.
Manhattan is not an island either.
It is an island in the qualifications of Matt. Chicago is not. Manhattan is.
Okay. That's fine. They did reverse the flow of the river, which I think is cool.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I just think that one's cool. I heard about a while ago. They were digging like a subway or something, and they accidentally poked the hole in the wall. And like Lake Michigan was like, oh, that's free real estate, baby, and they were just like, oh shit, because the downtown loop is apparently. Under sea level, but like not, because it's like one of the kind of like Manhattan. How Manhattan flooded the other day, like a month ago.
Yeah,
because it's like above sea level around the edges, but the middle bit, where all the buildings are, is not. So if you get enough rain, if you get enough water flow, it just kind of floods, and the water doesn't have anywhere to go because it's wanting to sit there. And yeah, they just kind of flooded the entirety of downtown Chicago in like the 90s and like 1994 because the lake was just like, yep, I'm coming in, baby. And they had to just like dump like an ungodly amount of concrete against the little tiny little hole they put in just to get it to stop.
Okay, so the river flows into Illinois then, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people downriver who weren't downriver before are mad about it because it flows into Illinois because all their shit is in that river. And it used to flow into Lake Michigan, which is also where they get their water from. So they reversed it so it would flow down, back down to the Mississippi, which then means every single small town downriver of them gets just like a fucking ocean of shit. It's great. It's the perks of being in a, nascent megacity and, a regional area. Kind of like how New York gets away with a lot of stuff just because they're gigantic, so they can kind of just do whatever they want.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forget Illinois exists sometimes.
I do too. It really shouldn't, if you think about it. It should just be like Chicago. Same way New York should not exist.
It's weird how much of a cultural grip Chicago had on American comedy from like the 70s up until like the 2000s. Yet like people just kind of we're getting kind of close to Christmas time. The iconic Christmas movie Home Alone, that's Chicago based. Yeah. The iconic movie Christmas Vacation, that's Chicago based.
It's because theater, like Broadway is a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Broadway exists, but Broadway is it's Broadway. I mean, you can't really do anything with it. It's just you're doing musicals, all the musicals that make it. But Chicago, in terms of the theater scene, that's where you get a lot of improv comedy. Like that's kind of the origin of improv theater is in Chicago. They just had a lot more shops because things were cheaper, things weren't as regimented, and they didn't have to compete with Broadway. They were far enough away. So then when you're having a lot of these same improv comedy actors going into like movies and TV shows and stuff, they're able to kind of experiment more. So that's just why in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, you got a lot of comedy set in Chicago is because a lot of the actors kind of, just a lot of the kind of improv different theatrical scene was from that region, from that time period. But obviously Saturday Night Live, a lot more of the momentum has shifted back to New York and San Francisco and LA as it's kind of just spread throughout the country. So it's not as centralized anymore. But
a new comedy hotspot, Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, when you get like, I don't even know what Peoria is, but when you get them involved in more stuff, I don't know what it is. But they just have a weird name, and they popped up on the map, like as a large city. But then again, Manhattan pops up, on Google Maps.
Manhattan, Kansas. We're talking about Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah, of course we are. We're a Kansas City podcast. Why would I talk about the other Manhattan?
We were talking about the other Manhattan literally earlier in this podcast.
I know. No, if you scroll on Google Maps on my computer, at least, the Manhattan shows up before like Topeka does, and it's just like, okay, why? Google Maps never change.
Also, Hayes, Kansas shows up.
Yeah, which like I guess I get because it's probably the larger city out there, out west, but I don't know. I mean, Olathe pops up.
Yeah.
I guess your big. I guess Kansas City, I forget, is not actually in Kansas. It's in Missouri. So Olathe, Manhattan, Hayes, Dodge City, and Wichita. That's Kansas. That's it.
And in Missouri, it's Columbia, St. Louis, Springfield, Joplin, and Branson, and Kansas City.
Yeah. Wow, we're really really regionalized on this podcast, huh?
We are in like one state that is Missouri, who has a better credit rate in the United States, and one state which nearly went bankrupt, i.e., Kansas.
If you just like, instead of having like the mix, if all the like Democrats and all the Republicans would just like move from one state to the other, you really would just have like. I mean, it's just like there's enough like big city whatever stuff in Kansas City and St. Louis, like bones to work with, but it's just like the larger politics is just
so.
Entirely...
If we just agreed to make the socialist state of Missouri and then made all the Republicans move to Kansas, is that what you're implying?
I'm just like, basically, if Kansas City was just fully in Kansas, Kansas would be like a hard blue Democratic state. That's all it would take.
But it's not.
Yeah, I know it's not. I don't even know where I'm getting with this. I'm just kind of thinking about like public transit.
I just think that the Socialist Republic of Missouri would be a pretty funny thing.
It would be kind of funny. I mean, they got it up in Michigan, right? The People's Republic of Michigan with Gretchen Whitmer.
Doesn't Wisconsin and Minnesota both have the same situation as well?
I know Minnesota does. I'm not sure about Wisconsin. So
well, Wisconsin just did the line item bill thing, which gave the kids basically like constant funding for.
Yeah,
the
but
next
I've seen
years.
like a million things passed in Minnesota and a million things passed in Michigan. But that's the one thing I've heard about in Wisconsin. So, and then like Illinois is Pritzker Conate.
All right. Well, I think this is good. We're at 37 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. This has been another episode of the Cleo Talk. My name is Matt.
Unfortunately, this has been another episode of Cleo Talk.
My name is Matt.
I'm RC.
And you can follow us wherever you get podcasts at. Follow us on Twitter at Cleo History. And then you can email us at cleohistorypodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a like or subscribe or wherever you do for that kind of stuff for algorithm purposes.
Send us angry emails if you want. I don't really...
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Do whatever you want. We don't care. You have free will. You can do whatever you want as long as it's not a terrorist attack. Don't do those. All right. That's the end of this podcast. Bye.
Goodbye.